Welcome to the Dream Huge podcast, where we'll talk with real estate investors, entrepreneurs, business leaders, athletes, and more to inspire you with their success stories so you can work hard, never give up, and dream huge. And now, let's start the show.
Yo, what is up, everybody? Welcome to the Dream Huge podcast. Man, we love sharing success stories from other huge dreamers, folks in the real estate business, entrepreneurs, movers, shakers, influencers, and more. And hopefully these stories will help to motivate and inspire you to also dream huge, baby. And today we are joined by my very special co-host, JP for 3, John Pavlansky, #1 selling agent, and the whole entire board, and just absolutely killing it and continues to help folks all over the area here. So JP, what is up, my man?
Pete, what is going on, brother? Excited to talk with another real estate professional today and talk some real estate from somewhere you may not think about real estate much for. I'm super excited for this conversation. I'm having an excellent day, an excellent morning today. But the real question that I have is, Pete, how are you doing today, my brother?
Good, excellent, as always. Thank you, JP. Thanks for making the time. We have our very special guest, Melissa Darnay. She is with Choose Panama Real Estate. So, Melissa, tell us a little bit about yourself and what it is you do down there in Panama.
Sure. It's so nice to be here. And the first thing I want to say is the first thing that Pete said to me was, is that a real background? So yes, I am here at the mouth of the Panama Canal. A lot of times when people think canal, they think it's ugly, it's dirty, they don't want to be there. But at the mouth, we're here right on the Pacific Ocean where the ships enter and exit the canal. So it's this gorgeous view with jungle and ships and cruise ships and yachts and parrots and toucans. It is such a beautiful country. I grew up in California, and when I later moved to Dallas, Texas, what I missed most was the natural beauty. But by then, California had gotten crazy, crazy, crazy expensive. So this has been such an amazing experience for me. I've been here since 2012, selling real estate and helping people live a little bit happier.
I love it. I love it. So, and you said you are selling real estate there now,
Yes.
Melissa. Tell us a little bit about what that's been like. Are you on a team? Do you have your own company, your own brokerage, your own team? And also, where did you start in real estate? I know we talked a little bit pre-show here, but where did you start in real estate? Was it in Panama?
Yeah, so I started in real estate in Dallas, Texas, and I can't remember the exact year. It was right around 206, 207. I really didn't enter real estate to be a real estate broker or a real estate agent. I entered because I purchased a property in Dallas and I felt like I got ripped off. It was the first property that I'd ever purchased by myself. And it was just that feeling of, something's wrong. Why do I feel like, I got ripped off? So I went to real estate school to just get educated. And I thought, oh, I'll help my family and friends, buy and sell real estate. But it was never going to really be my profession. And then fast forward in 2010, I came to Panama for the first time and was shocked. I was expecting dirt roads and roosters and dirty faced kids and, a drug dealer on every corner. And what I saw was like these sleek, shiny buildings and this beautiful ocean and completely different life than I had expected. I mean, Panama, what's in Panama? So I decided to come back and take a closer look. At that point, my husband had recently died in a car accident, and I was looking for adventure. So I came to Panama on an exploratory trip and was like, you know what? I could live here. There are really good restaurants. There are beautiful luxury cars. There's a nice set of expats, educated people. It was, like I said, completely different than my preconceived notions. So in 2012, I packed my 2 dogs in a 20-foot container and I moved to Panama. And I came here specifically to do real estate. So from the moment I landed, I got a job working for a real estate company to learn how real estate is different in Panama versus the United States. And worked for a couple different companies as I worked my way up, learned a lot. And then in 2016, January of 2016, I opened Choose Panama. So I became the broker and opened my own company.
So how is real estate different in Panama?
It's different some ways. One of the big differences is when you go to sign a contract, the contract is typically 8 pages, 4 pages in English, 4 pages in Spanish. There's no gotchas. You don't get a tired hand when you're signing your documents. It is such an easy process. It's actually harder to open a bank account than it is to buy a property. It takes a little bit longer because the process here is more, I don't know, more thorough, but everything has a good standing certificate. So when you buy a titled property, you're going to get a good standing certificate from everywhere, from the gas company, the electricity company, the water company. If it's in a homeowners association, then that as well. And then once you have all those and submit it to the public registry, that's it. It's yours. There's no debt owned on it. There's nothing that can be said. It's free and clear. So it's a pretty easy, no gotcha process that makes it easy. And it's so foreign investor friendly here. They want, investors from the US, they want investors from Canada to come invest here, whether for, to move here or for a vacation home.
Beautiful. Beautiful stuff. And just packing up and leaving. What was that experience like? What were some of the emotions that you had when you were traveling, when you first got there? Like, I couldn't imagine. I've been in the same place since I was born. So what was that feeling like when you finally laid foot in Panama and said, this is now my new home?
I think like you hit the nail on the head. There were a lot of emotions. 95% of my clients don't move here full time. They buy vacation homes, but I just jumped in. So I was really looking forward to the moment when I was going to be here. The packing up the house and selling the house in Dallas was very stressful. And, combine that with, the loss of a spouse. It was a lot of emotions that I was trying to deal with. And I thought, once I get on the ground, things are going to be very easy and I'll be on permanent vacation. And when you land in a new country, I knew nobody in Panama City, literally nobody. I knew 5 words of Spanish, probably didn't think that part out very well. And so when I landed, I didn't have a car yet, hadn't purchased one. When I bought a car, they sold GPS for the car, but they didn't sell a map of Panama for the GPS. So there are some things now that, in the past 12, 13 years have gotten easier for people. But one of the things I decided early on was I had what I call a hard landing in Panama. I did a lot of things wrong. So one of the things we help with is giving our clients a soft landing. So all the hard stuff, we take it off their plate. And I'm going to give you an example. When you're buying real estate in your own hometown, you don't need someone to help you turn on the electricity. You've done it before. You know how to do it. You don't need help setting up cable. But when someone's coming to Panama and they don't speak Spanish, they don't know how to do that. So we do all that for them.
White glove service.
White glove service, start to
Above
finish.
and beyond. You need to add more in value than you charge in price.
That's right.
That's one of the first laws of success right there.
That's right.
And it sounds like you're doing an amazing job of that. So what's the average home price and what does the average home look like in Panama?
In and around Panama City, it's apartments. So like any big city, towers, apartments. It's unusual to have homes, not impossible, but they are either, quite a ways outside of the city or, very expensive. So most really what we sell are apartments. And the reality is because this is a tropical place to live, there's more humidity than a lot of people are used to. Not year round, like today, I think the humidity, or yesterday, because today it rained, but yesterday the humidity was about 58%. Not bad, not horrible, not uncomfortable. But because we do have some humid days, then you have to take care of things differently. So when you're in an apartment, it's easier to lock it and leave it. And you still want a property manager, but lock it and leave it than if you're in a house. It's a lot more complicated because then you have to have more people taking care of more different types of things.
So on the average, are you seeing the most common is a 1 bed, a 2 bed, and what on average are those going for?
So the average is going to be a 2-bedroom. One of the reasons most people like 2 bedrooms, even if it's a couple, because they want to have their kids come, they want to have their parents come, they want friends, maybe they're still working, they want a place to put their laptop. So definitely 2 bedrooms are more popular. In a building like mine, we've got a great view of the water. You're close to the city, you have a lot of amenities. And I didn't come from an apartment culture, so I knew nothing about amenities, but here it's all about the amenities. So a building will have not only, a gym and a game room and a pool, but they're also going to have saunas and steam rooms and a movie theater. And the list will go on, all the different amenities you get. So typically for something like that, a 2-bedroom will be somewhere between 350 and 500,000. Where it gets great, though, is that the carrying costs are so low.
Mhm.
In a building such as mine, HOA is $250 a month, and that covers everything except electricity and your cable and internet.
Got it.
Yeah.
Got it. Now let me ask too with that, Melissa.
Hey, Pete, how many do you want? One or two?
Let's grab a handful of them, Pete. Why not, man?
And did I mention there's no property tax for another 6 years? Yeah.
Yeah. So let me ask. With that being said, I'm sure you mentioned the investor side of things. Like in your specific building, do they allow Airbnbs? Do they allow your vacation rentals?
Yes, and this was an issue in Panama City before really Airbnb got popular. So in 2012, Panama really wanted the hotels to invest in Panama. So they passed a law so that like the Hilton and the Waldorf Astoria would come and build hotels. The minimum rental in Panama City is 45 days. A building like mine, because we're just like a few steps over the border, so that law doesn't apply to us. So we can do vacation rentals.
So you got to get right out of the city with the property you buy, so then you can rent it out while you're gone.
Right.
Okay.
There's a couple options in Panama City. There's an area called Costa del Este that has over 120 multinational companies headquartered there. Companies like Procter and Gamble, Nestle, Adidas, Samsung, L'Oreal, etc. That area, if an apartment comes available like in the morning, there's so much demand, it'll be rented again by the afternoon. But there are 2 buildings, one that was just finished and then one will be finished in a couple of years, that have a special short-term license. But unless the building has that license, then yeah, short-term rentals are not allowed.
Gotcha. Yeah, because that's where from my perspective, and I will let you tell us too. From my perspective as an investor, that's where you'd get the meat and bone, the meat and potatoes of it, right? What are some of your investors investing in? Is it the short-term side of things with some of these buildings, or is it more long-term rentals? And what did some of those returns look like for you guys?
So there's 2 different types of investor, if you will. One is the pure investor who wants ROI. They want to invest outside their home country. They want to diversify. They think Panama's a safe bet. It's US dollar. If that's the case, and you want to buy 1 or 2 or 10 or 20 apartments for ROI specifically, I would suggest Costa del Este. Again, in one of those projects that has that special license, the ROI is going to be, 8, 10, 11% and growing.
Mm-hmm.
Nice. It's not, super, 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 but it's nice. It's a good return. If someone wants a vacation rental for themselves that they actually want to use some amount of time, 2 weeks, 2 months, 6 months out of the year, then a building like I'm in right outside the city with a water view, with the amenities where they can use it when they want and then Airbnb it when they're not in it to make it cash flow positive.
Mm-hmm. Beautiful.
Cash flow opportunities. Now, I don't want to focus on this, but I do have to ask, being in Panama, what is the status of the canal currently?
The status of the canal, all publicity is good publicity. So I'm thankful that a lot of people are actually learning where Panama is, because asked so many people, they didn't know where it was before it became famous a few weeks ago. The status of the canal is that the canal is 100% owned and operated by the country of Panama. It is the number one moneymaker, is very important for the GDP of Panama. There are operators, the companies that take the the containers on and off the container ships at either end of the canal that are owned by Chinese companies. So that has been sort of the hoopla that's going around. I do also know that one of the things that they have allegedly agreed upon is that the U.S. military will have a permanent presence on the canal, that's a great thing.
Sure. So what such a great natural resource you have there in the canal. Now, the actual physical attributes of the canal.
Huh?
Is it how wide is it? How long is it roughly? Just to give our viewers an idea.
How long is it? That's a good question. I should have that information and I don't. I'll have to do a blog about
Well, I
that.
know we could Google that too, but I'm just trying to picture in my mind. Is it miles long? Is it a mile long? I don't know. We could
50 miles.
Yeah, so from yeah, it's about because if you drive there's a highway, a really nice highway that goes parallel to the canal, and it takes about an hour because you're crossing the country. Panama's kind of long and skinny, but through the center is where the canal is. There was a natural lake, Lake Gatun, which is why they built the canal here, 100 years ago. There are multiple locks that the ships have to go on. One set is on the Caribbean side, and then two of them are on the Pacific side to basically take the ships up and then back down. So my guess would be it would be somewhere around 50 or 60 miles long.
Gotcha.
My videographer just told me it's 50 miles long.
There we go. We got us an answer. 50 miles. Thank you for that. Awesome stuff. Yeah, we don't bring on, we love talking real estate. And so when we get somebody like you on here, very interesting stuff.
Yeah, agreed. I was going to ask too, from a real estate perspective. We have some changes in some of our laws, and I'm curious to see or our regulations. I'm curious to see how that's affected you guys, if it has at all. And then again, how do you guys? With that being said, what are your commissions like on a fairly typical basis of a deal by deal?
Yes. So what's happening in the United States has not affected us at all. And it's a little bit surprising because we are a bit of a mini-me USA. So typically whatever happens in the US, we copy it, but that has not been copied. So it's still the traditional style of real estate where you have a listing and the commission here is 5%. So if I list a property for 5% and then another broker brings the client, then I split the commission with the other person.
Gotcha. Yeah, so pretty typical from what we see in the States, or I guess did.
Exactly.
Correct myself.
Yeah.
So, what other questions do you have, Pete? Anything else, man?
No, that's a great perspective on Panama. We're pushing up on 20 minutes here, so we just wanted to give Melissa a shout out for coming on here and spreading the word about Choose Panama Real Estate. I think she answered some questions. What makes Choose Panama different? She gives them that white glove service. We will set you up completely, make it a touch free. You won't have to do nothing but just move right in and enjoy. Ain't that right, Melissa?
That's correct.
If there's one thing, Melissa, I from your experience from moving from Texas to Panama and just realistically just diving in head first, what is something that you would say you would share with others and give to others as a encouragement of kind of your switch to living in Panama?
When I tell people about my life in Panama, it's almost unbelievable. It's like my background. It's almost too good to be true. And a lot of people, it's so far outside of their experience, they can't even understand it. If you're looking for a vacation home, if you're looking for an investment opportunity, give Panama a look because so many things here will surprise you. It's not just the natural beauty and the good weather, but it's the lifestyle. I would say the lifestyle here is something I never could have dreamed. You dream big, but how do you know you can dream big when you can't even dream of it? So it's better than I ever dreamed of. I don't see myself ever leaving. No.
That's awesome. That is awesome. Well, I think that's all that I have. Melissa, anything you want to leave us with before we end everything here?
Yes, I offer a free ebook if anyone is interested about Panama. It's whet your appetite. You can go to choosepanama.com and download a free copy of my ebook, Panama Uncorked. It tells you kind of everything you need to know, and it's very easily readable and skimmable. But it's a good place to start.
Social media?
Social media, I have a podcast too. My podcast is the Panama Podcast on YouTube, and it's at Choose Panama.
Nice. Did they make you the mayor down there yet, or what?
I know a lot of people.
That's awesome. And take note, real estate agents out there, this is how you become successful in real estate. Be the known person in your community and constantly, wave the flag for your community as well. And just be an ambassador for wherever you're living. And you will make those connections. And then those connections turn into deals. And that's how you help people. So thank you, Melissa, for jumping on today. Appreciate you very much. Thank you, JP. JP for 3, John Pavlansky, appreciate you, man. And thank you, everyone, for watching the Dream Huge podcast. Please remember to like, subscribe, and share. And as always, remember the rules. Work hard, never give up, and dream huge, baby. Let's see the guns, Melissa. Dream huge. There you go. Thank you, everybody. Thank you.
Bye-bye.
Thank you for listening to the Dream Huge podcast. Make sure you subscribe so you don't miss any future episodes. For more inspiring content, follow us on Instagram and Facebook at Dream Huge Realty and on TikTok at Dream Huge Inc. Until next time.